Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's time for round 6 of the FIA Manufacturers Exhibition Season 2020. Another strategy guide. It is Group 4 at Interlagos, fuel at times 3, tyre wear at times 11. We have 12 laps to run. We have both the racing medium and the racing hard tyre, and we scroll through to the race details and take a look at the tyre requirement. We are required to run both the racing hard and the racing medium, so that limits strategy straight away. We will have to make a pit stop in this one. The question is, how many? So we join on board with the Group 4 Corvette in its original livery at this point. And the footage here is just me conducting some testing and coming towards the end of it. What I'm looking to find out here is firstly fuel. So we'll deal with that first. No fuel concerns for this one. The Corvette is not a good car on fuel, and it has no trouble whatsoever getting 12 laps in. Also took a wee look at the Mustang, which is another really bad car on fuel, and it can also do the distance. So no cars are going to have to worry about fuel, so not a concern for this one. Other thing I was looking to find out is where to have my brake balance in order to get the tyre wear in control. Have a lot of issues with the front tyres wearing out in this one, so I've got my brake balance all the way to the rear, well just about, I think it's actually at 4. This makes the car quite unstable under braking for turns 1 and 4, but I think if you can manage that, it's worth it to keep the front tyres in check, because the wear on the fronts is quite heavy. The other thing we're looking at, we want to find out how long the medium tyres were going to last. I had a rough indication of what kind of lap time I'd be able to do on the hard tyres from a daily race that was run under the same settings a few months back. I knew I could do sort of high, well maybe even mid 39s, but certainly high 39s, low 40s on the hard tyre. So I was wanting to see at what point the medium tyre would come into that lap time range, and therefore find out the optimal lap to change tyres from the mediums to the hards. So we're on to a race sim now. We've changed the livery of our Corvette. We are running a rather snazzy Coors Light livery. Thank you very much to whoever did that. It's a very cool looking car. So we're trying here on this race sim, we're on the medium tyres to start off with. We know we have some problems with front tyre wear, so we've tried to take it a little bit easier over the opening laps, as we learnt from our testing. The front tyres are wearing out quite quickly. So while we're in the 38s for our opening lap on our testing, we've only done a 39.1 on our first flying lap. That's mostly by design. As I said, we're trying to just take it quite easy on the opening laps to look after those tyres. We knew from our testing as well that we could do laps in the high 39s on the hard tyres, so we know as soon as we get we're going to start setting a lap over 140, it's time to change tyres, and we have reached that moment in our testing here, our race sim. We're about to do a lap about maybe a 140.2, so lap 5 we are going to pit, because we know we can be quicker on the other tyre. So into the pits we come. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that this is not actually the pit stop that we're making. This is a race pit stop that I've spliced into the footage, just to give you an idea of how long an actual race pit stop takes. That time comes in at about 11-12 seconds loss, which is why there was certainly no option for a 2-stopper on this one. It is a 1-stopper no matter what you do. It's just how you're going to work the tyres, and what sort of laps you're going to pit on, and what sort of, I guess, a pit window, if you like. So we've pitted on lap 5 laps on the mediums, and we're going to do 7 laps on the hard tyres. So our first flying lap on the hard tyres there was a 39.4, so confirmation that we pitted on the right lap. We were about to go into the 40s on our medium tyres. We keep the lap times in the 39s right up till lap 11. Obviously that's maybe a small mistake on lap 10, we've just dipped into the 40s. In this last lap we're going to be into, I think it's a 40.4 that we do, just not very clean. I think we could certainly have maybe done a 40.1 had I think with a small mistake in the middle sector. So this was our testing for an FR car. For me, if you're running an FR car, you maybe want to be pitting around about lap 5 if you start on the mediums. And generally pretty reasonable on tyres, so I think my experience should be quite reflective of most drivers out there. So let's take a little look at how an MR car is going to fare with these settings. We're running the Group 4 McLaren 650S, I believe it's called. MR cars have a little bit more flexibility in the strategy from what I can see. Lap times similar to our Corvette lap times, but we're able to keep these medium tyres alive a good bit longer. So that's us completing 6 laps on the medium tyres and we're still keeping it under that 1 minute 40 window, which is the sort of indicator where I think you need to change onto the hard tyres. The hard tyres generally about a second a lap slower than the mediums. So obviously varies players' ability, so but that's generally quite a good indicator, is that once you're starting to lap about a second to a second and a half lap slower than your for probably your first flying lap, it's time to change to the hard tyres. So we're on to lap 7 here with the McLaren. I think we've done a pretty good first sector there. We're sort of only half a tenth down on our best lap, but as the tyres go, it's certainly this twisty middle sector. It's no surprise, is where the car becomes a little bit more difficult and you start to bleed lap time. Much more reliant on the mechanical grip of the car through that sector. We'll come up to the second sector here and we've lost a massive 1.2 seconds on our fastest lap, so it's definitely time to get rid of these tyres and get onto the hard tyres. Our best lap's actually a pretty decent one in this, we're a 36, so but we're certainly approaching that window, the 140 lap time. It was my indicator to get rid of these medium tyres. So MR cars certainly seem to have a bit more flexibility, certainly seem to be able to make the medium tyres last that a little bit longer than the FR cars out there. So keep that in mind if you happen to be in a McLaren, the Ferrari, the Citroen. I'm struggling to think of any more MR cars in Group 4, but there is a few others. So the strategy for this one, as we discussed earlier, is a one-stop. There's no choice but to make a pit stop because of the requirement to run both compound of tyres. Obviously now the hybrid tyres have been eliminated. That rules out a no-stopper. And pit loss is just too long at 11 to 12 seconds to make a two-stop. So if you're in an FR car, you're starting on the medium tyres. It looks to me like pitting on lap 5 to put on the hards, and then doing a 7-lap stint on the hards is the optimal way for this one. If you happen to find yourself absolutely mired in traffic, I guess you could probably even jump a lap earlier and go lap 4 to try and get some clear track. You should be able to get 8 laps out the hard tyres that way. I think if you go on to lap 6, that's just a lap too long. If you're going to do the reverse way by starting on the hard tyres, sort of general rule of thumb is that if you can only get, you probably add a lap on to how many laps you can get out a set of tyres once the car is a good bit lighter. So whilst you might only be able to do 5 laps when the car's got full fuel, on the mediums you should be able to do 6 laps. So if you start the hards, you're probably looking at a 6-6 split. For MR cars, You can do, as you've seen there, you can get to lap 7 on the mediums and then just do 5 laps on the hards. I guess that means if you were to start the hards, you could certainly do just maybe even 3 laps and try and do 9 laps on the mediums. Would be a bit of a push, but certainly a 4-8 split medium hard would be possible with MR cars. Okay, that's my thoughts for this one. Just a quick one, not too many strategy options just because of how the race works out. But hopefully there's some useful information in here to get you through your race if you've not had any time to get any practice in. So I wish you well for this race. I think I said it was coming up on Saturday earlier in the video, but it's obviously Sunday now for the manufacturers season. So good luck in that race. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.